Hey, you listen to Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, and MPR. As always, I'm Grady, and live on Skype we got Josh.
Hey.
We had a big Elimination Chamber pay-per-view this past weekend, and that means we're going to obviously dissect each and every match as we go down the card. And there was a quick unannounced match on the pre-show. Some Raw tag teams got into it. My boy Hawkins and your mortal enemy Zack Ryder decided that for some reason they really wanted to get squashed by the Viking Raiders.
Yeah. Gotta keep that team strong. They're not the tag team champions.
Yeah, it seems like once the belts came off them, and arguably during the belts being on them, that they didn't have a whole lot planned for them. And especially now, it's just a case of, what do we do? Put them back to just squashing tag teams and loop through that again. They're slightly getting involved in this Owens-Rollins stuff, but they keep coming in and out of that. They're not really committed into the feud or committed out of the feud.
Eventually, we're going to get that big Viking Raiders versus AOP match.
Unfortunately, I don't think it'll be anytime soon. I'm going to have to scroll super quickly to see if I can find it. Yes, I can confirm that on Raw, Razor tore his right bicep. So the match might not be anytime soon.
Well, they're snake bitten. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah. I saw the news like late last night and I was like, oh no, please be false. But this morning it's been confirmed by a couple of sources. So yeah, the word is that they might use him on TV still in this enforcer role, but that obviously he can't get involved physically with anyone, so there won't be a match per se. As much as, because I'd expected the WrestleMania match to lead to AOP potentially picking up the belts, so whoops.
I just expected the Viking Raiders versus AOP at WrestleMania.
Yeah, some sort of combination of that, and as much as this is a blow to those plans, that were in our heads, I think it's a bigger blow to the Raw tag division, because heels-wise, who do they got other than the OC now? Because we got the Street Profits holding the belts, and then, we got Viking Raiders. I'm not even counting Hawkins and Ryder existing. Where do the Street Profits go from here if it isn't AOP?
Who knows?
We might see some quickly rushed together tag team to try and patch up that Raw tag team division.
Then again, it may not matter at all, depending on what Tampa says here in a little bit. That's
true. At the moment, everything is very touch and go across the world. Some places cancelling shows bigger than 50 people, some places moving on with their shows. A lot of gaming events moving to online stuff, and a lot of events just straight up having to be cancelled. So, day by day on a lot of that stuff. But as of the moment, going ahead is the word. As of time of recording, going ahead is the word. If we just talked about all of that Raw tag team division, we might as well talk about the fact that the Street Profits retained against Seth Rollins and Murphy on the main card.
Yeah, it was a really good match between these two tag teams. And while Kevin Owens was a factor, it was more of a distraction. He did not get involved in the match like he did on Raw. And you know something? If we hadn't have had a certain event occur later on in the show, we would be playing their theme this week because they deserve it.
That's fair. I think that's four great talents in the ring there. Whether the Street Profits stick together as a team going forward, I feel like they probably will for quite a while. Rollins and Murphy, single stars. We already knew Rollins' ceiling was pretty high, right? I feel like if you put the faith behind Murphy, he can be pretty high up with the best of them in that singles division as well. Fingers crossed. But yeah, the Street Profits shouldn't be slept on either. They're not just the champs because they were standing around that day. They're really good at what they do as well. Let's go into the SmackDown Tag Team division. because they had an Elimination Chamber match to determine their SmackDown Tag Team Champions, and I will quickly run down the what happened. The Lucha House Party got eliminated by Heavy Machinery, then Heavy Machinery got eliminated by Ziggler and Rude, then Ziggler and Rude got eliminated by the Usos, and then both the New Day and the Usos got eliminated by Miz and Morrison so that Miz and Morrison could retain.
They overcame the odds. Two tag teams that hate them, and they still managed to hold on to their titles.
This very much seemed like a chamber of three stories. You know, your first story is Lucha House Party. They want to show off. They want to get in that spotlight for the 10 seconds they got it.
Yeah, I mean, what are the odds that they'll actually be on a main card anytime soon? Pretty low. So yeah, they definitely took advantage of their 15 minutes of fame.
And amazing jumps off the cage, or off the cell, or whatever you want to call the chamber. It was really impressive. I think if their chances before were 0.01%, 0.02% now, they'd made the best of the situation they were in. But the second part was Heavy Machinery versus Ziggler and Rude. That was the story for the middle of this chamber.
Yeah, and then Otis took himself out, literally, in the most literal sense possible.
Yeah. And so enraged with anger, just charges right through the side of the cell and out to the floor. It was a thing.
Yeah, that was an incredible, insane scene. Watching him just bust out of the chamber and fall out.
Honestly, I'm looking at this match as a whole, and I know they were the first two out, but I think Lucha House Party and Heavy Machinery shone the most in terms of just what they were able to show off in their time frame. Because Heavy Machinery, as well as that spot where Otis flies through the side of the chamber, we also had one where Tucker decides to jump off the top of a cell because he's insane.
Yeah, that was just a series of, what are they doing now? Oh, now what are they doing? Oh my God, this big 300-pound man just jumped off the top of a cell. And then this 350-pound man runs through a cell chamber. And almost like, then you realize we're not really talking about the finish. That's how incredible everything else was.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed this chamber match. I loved it top to bottom. Top was a little better, but start to finish. Start to middle was just so high energy, high octane, insane spots, crazy stuff. But then the third part of this chamber match was The Miz and Morrison versus the New Day versus the Usos, which we might potentially see down the line as a triple threat tag match.
So yeah, it's definitely it feels like almost feels like the feud kind of shifted in the middle of when it was the last three of them, from the New Day and Miz and Morrison to Miz and Morrison and the Usos. That's almost how it felt.
Yeah, it's a hard one, because...
Also, can I say this?
Go nuts.
It was nice watching a super kick party in which the people doing the super kicks can actually do actual moves.
Oh, that was a shot to the heart. Next time I say, yeah, go nuts, you can say whatever you want, I'm gonna regret it. I don't know, I feel like, we're assuming it goes ahead, less than a month out from WrestleMania. I feel like your WrestleMania match is a triple threat between those teams. I feel like that's the way it's sort of built. But, I don't know. The tag team divisions don't really have anything set in stone right now for potential WrestleMania opportunities.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts here, but at least we have more of an idea here with this division than we do with the Red Brands division.
Yeah, this one we could sort of plot out maybe one or two matches that might possibly happen. Red, we've got no idea. Raw is just insane. I don't know what the Street Profits are gonna do. What do we got? Okay, let's move on to the match that decided which theme we were going to be playing this week. It is the 3-on-1 handicap match for the Intercontinental Championship. Braun Strowman was defending against the team of Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Cesaro.
Yeah, this was interesting.
I'm utterly perplexed.
Yeah. You know, it made for a moment nobody expected. And what can I say? The new holder of the Intercontinental champion does deserve it. It's just so did the previous holder. And he only had it for like 3 weeks.
I thoroughly remember us discussing this last week in our preview show, and we were like, nah, there's no way Braun Strowman loses. But if he does, it's Sami Zayn. And
that's why I think we're on the Pelo track for Sami Zayn versus Braun Strowman if WrestleMania happens.
Yeah.
With caveat of his cabinet, I don't have a term for his cronies.
Yeah.
Banned from ringside.
Yeah, Intercontinental Championship still wide open for me as well. I think Braun Strowman, having just lost his title, will probably remain around in the feud for a little while. Yeah, Sami Zayn has the belt now. At the moment, it looks like his cronies. It was weird in that they sort of seemed like they were on an equal playing field, but with Zayn as the manager, but now Zayn's the championship holder. But they were all still happy for each other, so I don't think they're going to implode just yet. But I don't quite know. There's a lot of combustible elements in that trio. And I don't really know where they're actually going to go with this. Because if we go to WrestleMania and we have Braun versus Sami, and Sami loses clean, because there's no way in hell he can beat Braun one-on-one, then what do you do with the trio? I don't know. I have zero ideas.
Yeah, but I think that's what makes it such a fun season is... This is an era of unknown.
Mm-hmm.
Just as we think we figure something, they change everything. They change all the answers.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's real good to be surprised, which is what I think I sent someone on Facebook. It was just sometimes I like being wrong. You know, when we do these prediction shows the week before, it's not fun if we get every single one correct. You got to be wrong sometimes. You gotta have that little twist you ain't expecting to just give you something that makes it worth watching. And this was definitely that. Did not see this coming in any way. But because of Sami Zayn's heroic victory and championship win, his first on the quote-unquote main roster, we will be playing Sami Zayn's entrance theme, and that will be playing for you now. And you're back with the Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, and MPR, Grady and Josh. Let's jump back to the start of the card now, and let's talk about an unannounced match that slid its way in, a Daniel Bryan versus Drew Gulak match.
Yeah, this was an insane match to kick off the show with, and I think Gulak's a bigger star now than he was, 6 days ago?
Yeah. It felt like we went, hey guys, we got 15 minutes to fill. Who can put on an amazing technical match? You two, go. And they brought it.
Although I'm thinking Daniel Bryan probably wishes he had longer trunks.
To move on from that and touch on your previous topic, you're right. Gulak has been one of these talents where you knew he was good. You knew he was good when he was on 205. He had the character, he had the charisma, everything was good. Okay, he stopped. Okay, cool. And then he started rolling again, and you were like, yeah, I'm behind, and he stopped again. Okay, cool.
He has a 274-page PowerPoint presentation on why you should never quit on him.
And I would love to not quit on him. But with this sort of dissolving of 205 Live and the talents being thrown around places, I think this is proving to anyone who didn't believe, he's just good in the cruiserweight division, and this sort of just puts him against Daniel Bryan, and he held his own, obviously it was a 15-minute match, right? And real technical back and forth between the two. It wasn't a Daniel Bryan dominating. This is a former world champ, Daniel Bryan here. And you put quite a lot of effort in, and you shone within the loss.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those, the loss did not hurt him situation. If anything, it elevated him because he was wrestling with a main eventer.
It's not often you get to see these sort of main eventers take on way lower card guys. And, it not be a squash or not just be for quick storyline purposes. Because in theory, this match didn't have any storyline purpose. It was just a good old-fashioned match between the two. But one match that did have storyline purpose, Andrade successfully defending his United States Championship against Humberto Carrillo.
It was a really, really good match. I think these two got some good chemistry. I'm still not sold that this feud is over.
No. Some combination...
But it definitely can't be a one-on-one again.
Yeah, some combination of Andrade, Humberto, Garza, Ray, and Dominic, and some combination of people, whether one match, two match combined, fatal four-way, triple threat, tag match.
What? Here's your multi-man match for you.
Gotcha, I'm in. Let's go.
Alright. Rey Mysterio versus Andrade versus Alberto Carrillo versus Angel Garza. And if you want to throw Dominic in for his first match, go ahead. I would say no. I'll just have him at ringside.
Yeah.
Put the title on up above the ring about 10 feet and have him climb a ladder to get it.
Yep. That's 100% what I do. I do a fatal four-way between the guys. If they were going to do a Ray Dominic program, I would have liked to have started it by now. I don't want to start the program 3 or 4 weeks away from WrestleMania. I think that's something that needs a little bit more build to it. Maybe a SummerSlam or something like that. But yeah, I think those four, probably in a fatal four-way. And there's always got to be one nice high-flying flippy stuff ladder match, right? Why not make it 4 of the best at the high-flying flippy stuff?
Yeah, and if you throw in a ladder, and then you get so much even more flippy stuff and things that they can do. And then you don't require anybody to be pinned in that match.
It's true. Question though, if that match does happen, who walks out with the title?
I'll go with that would be when Big Carrillo's shining moment.
Okay. The face finally overcomes.
Yeah.
Alright, well, we'll move into the next match. We've got Aleister Black taking on AJ Styles in a no disqualifications match with a little bit of help.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't see any help. Isn't that what you did last time?
Yep.
Yeah, it was Black was able to win, and then he got a knock on his door. So it definitely looks like he's going to be part of this Kevin Owens Seth Rollins feud, at least for the time being.
Yeah, I was hopeful he'd insert himself into a different feud, but it does appear as though his part of the AJ Styles Undertaker feud has been settled.
Yeah, I still don't get where people were trying to say that Black was Undertaker's brother or something.
Okay, let's not touch.
That was never said on screen or anything. That was never even insinuated. It was just so happened he was the guy facing AJ while AJ was taunting the Undertaker.
There's a very delicate Undertaker lore, okay? Let's not complicate this even further by adding another brother, okay? I have in-depth researched this lore. It does not work.
Especially one that's 20 years younger than him.
It's insanity. But I could have seen it potentially turning into a 2-on-3 Undertaker and Black versus Styles in the OC. But if that's not the direction they're going, it looks like they're going for a more heavy personal AJ Styles versus the Mortal Undertaker. We'll see how that ends up. Specifically, the Mortal Undertaker. Because I refuse to believe he's anything more than that at the moment. In canon. But yeah, as you say, Aleister Black, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, getting mixed up in that stuff a little bit. Are we going to see a change to what we thought the WrestleMania match was going to be?
No. I think I've always thought it was going to be just a one-on-one.
Yeah.
Taker versus AJ.
Oh, I meant the Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens stuff.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a one-on-one match.
Yeah.
There's no way that ends up being anything else.
So what you're saying is that my boy Aleister is still left without a WrestleMania feud or plan in front of him. God damn it. Well, we'll talk about the final match that we haven't got to. I think so. I think we've talked about everything else. It is the main event, the final match on the card, the second Elimination Chamber. This time it was for a Raw Women's title opportunity at WrestleMania. Who would take on Becky Lynch? Will it be the completely not focused on Natalya? Will it be the already had 100 opportunities and current Women's Tag Champ Asuka? Will it be any of the 3 currently feuding ex-Riot Squad members? Or will it be the heavily focused on Shayna Baszler with a feud baked in ready to go?
Oh boy. What to say about this match?
It was a match.
Yeah, it happened. Everybody who got released prior to Shayna Baszler got to shine for a moment.
Yeah.
And then Shayna Baszler was released, and everybody was gone in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I get what WWE were going for with it, right? I'm
fine with it. I'm happy with it. Because it established her as a dominant monster. Nobody has ever done what she did in that chamber match before and secured all 5 wins. And did it with relative ease.
All I would have done, I'm not knocking the storytelling for it, all I would have done was swap Liv and someone. Whether that's Liv and Natalya so that Liv gets in earlier, or whether that's Liv and Baszler so Baszler comes out 5 and Liv's already in there. I don't know, I just wanted some more sort of triple threaty type build with Liv, Ruby and Sarah being thrown around in there together, even if it is only for however long until the next competitor is opened up. 5 minutes, I think it was.
Yeah, they were doing 5-minute intervals, which seemed even longer when you had once Baszler was released and she had the ring completely cleared out in literally 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Then proceeded to absolutely murder Liv Morgan. And still had like 3 minutes to spare.
Yeah. I think, much like the other chamber match, right? This was again a chamber match of 3 stories. And whether that's the stories that were actually told in there, I don't think they were. Or where I think the WrestleMania matches are going to head out of this. I think we've got that triple threat between the ex-Riot Squad girls boiling around, which I'm honestly more hyped about than I should be, I think. I like all 3 talents, and I hope they get something. I hope they get to be able to just showcase themselves a little bit, even if it's on the pre-show. I think you go.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. I mean, yeah, I can understand people's upset about it. I mean, there was really no reason to have the match, but then people's option that I guess they were given to replace it was a SmackDown men's, and I'm like, isn't exactly what you were complaining about Roman doing what you want Shayna to do? That makes no sense.
Yeah, a little hypocritical there, just a little. But the second women's match is I think Asuka and Kairi probably defend against Natalya and Beth. Beth's been back on our screens, obviously involved with the Randy Orton stuff, while Natalya, they've been playing up real heavily. You know, oh, Natalya's dedicating this match to Beth. Oh, Natalya's really distraught that her best friend Beth is been beaten up by Randy. They just seem like they're laying that on thick at the moment.
Yeah, we're definitely, I think, on our way to a the Divas of Destruction facing off with the Kabuki Warriors.
Mm-hmm. And then obviously our final match, Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch, which is all but confirmed for WrestleMania 36 asterisks.
It's confirmed. I mean, that was the whole purpose of the Chamber match.
Asterisks if it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have. I guess we're in a holding pattern for now.
I think, depending obviously what comes out this week, WWE has to commit fully towards it and just hope it comes off. Hope it happens. But that is all we've got time for this week. It's been great talking to you.
Bye-bye.
You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wrestling Radio, Twitter page, twitter.com/Wrestling Radio, and we'll see you next week.